In this podcast, you get a real-life glimpse into a student's transformation. I take you into the actual coaching sessions, week by week, and you can see the student's progress in real time. So without further ado, here is AGL Live. Start by talking about last week, actually. I think we talked about it earlier, but so what did you do like last week before Summit?
Last week before Summit?
Like after last weekend.
That lay was like Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. And just talk about it real quick again.
Yeah, so I guess we can start about like how I got to San Francisco. I think that's a major. That's the only reason why I got late that night.
Yeah.
So there are a couple goals I set for the summer. Like one is like finish the algebra, like study GRE, and like get laid at least once. And yeah, I thought I was going pretty well with other goals except for that one, getting late part. So I was like, what can I do that would like put me in the best probability to get laid right now. And I was like, alright, I need better logistics. So I'm like looking at the Craigslist. I don't even know, it was like just for shits I was looking at just to see if there's any potential. And I looked at it for like 20 minutes and I found this place in financial district that was pretty cheap. So I like called them up. I called like a couple people up, and like there was one open right now. So I like, should I go see it? Then I just went and said, I just went and saw it that day, and I'm like, okay, this looks alright. And it's kind of serendipitously, like that was August 1st, right around like when my rent starts again. So I'm like, should I do it or not? And then I'm like, I thought about it a lot because there are some downsides moving there too. Because I live in Berkeley.
Yeah.
I would have to commute every day. And it was 2 times more expensive. I was paying like $560 there at Berkeley. I was gonna have to pay $1,100 for like way smaller room, no kitchen, no bathroom, share a shower.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was like I was like flipping back and forth a lot. And then I woke up the next day and like, I'm gonna do it. And then I put down the deposit. And yeah, I just basically like moved all my shit and told Adam, my subletter in Berkeley, like, dude, I'm really sorry, but I'm just gonna have to go to SF. It was just like a last minute decision. And I mean, he needs to pay his rent too, so I felt bad. So we ended up, I even gave him like $150 just because I didn't stay there for another month.
Yeah.
So yeah, I lost a lot of money, and like there's still some downsides to moving there. So it was definitely a trade-off to go there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sacrifice, and like, there was a lot of nervousness going into that.
Yeah, I definitely had that too.
Yeah.
And most of the time, like if I feel like it's the right decision, I just go with it anyway, even if it might not make total sense.
Yeah.
It feels right. So.
Yeah, it felt right to me.
Yeah.
So I just did it.
Yeah.
Everybody's telling me I was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like even the Uber driver there, Uber driver there, that was like, why are you going there? Like,
yeah.
and it's like everybody's moving out of the city. Why are you going into the city? I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like I need to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing is like with those sorts of decisions where you just follow your intuition instead of just your rationality.
Yeah.
Because on paper it might not look like a great decision, but it's like I feel like this is it.
Yeah.
Then you'll have a or have an easier time living with the decision first of
Yeah.
all, and secondly, I think it opens the gateway for like more creativity.
More,
So
opportunities and stuff.
yeah, opportunity, but creativity in the sense that people who are really innovative thinkers, they tend to go against the grain. So
Right.
people will be like, that doesn't make sense. Like, why are you doing this? And it's like, I'm just going by my intuition, my feeling. I feel like this is a good idea. And when you start following your intuition, whether it's like moving into a new apartment or like starting a new business endeavor or like trying to, I don't know, some sort of new project, like regardless of whatever it is, if you follow your intuition, then
Yeah.
that sort of thing will transpire.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I've done the same thing too.
Right.
When I moved out of LA and came to Vegas, didn't really have money, so
I bet that's crazy.
yeah. And the thing is, like, also another thing with finances, the closer you are to living on the edge, like the more comfortable you get with living on the edge, then you feel more free to make your own decisions.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when you're talking to girls, and if you're comfortable with rejection, you're not going to be that afraid of approaching.
Yeah.
So if you're comfortable with like living with less than $100, I mean, you shouldn't make that your long-term thing.
Right.
But if you're taking a risk and be like, if I go down like under like 100 or under $50 and still feel okay, then I know I can make more risks.
Yeah.
And I can live more freely because that opens up new opportunities.
Yeah.
So when you got there, you said that there's like a girl that wandered into your room or something?
Yeah, so that night I moved in, I went out with Brian. And another good thing was like, taking massive actions, like I got a lot of respect from Brian. He's been trying to help me out a lot.
Yeah, so talk about that, like your first impressions of him and then...
Yeah. So I met Brian like when I first came to Inner Circle meeting, like in June. Him and like the Inner Circle leader, Ramiz, and Leo, the other guy. They're considered like the three best guys in the Inner Circle. They have a lot of respect, but then I don't know, like they kind of like seemed very arrogant at the time I saw them.
Yeah.
They were like giving advices and like they wouldn't hang out with anyone else. They're just doing their own shit. So I'm like, alright, I guess that's them. Just gonna hang out with these kids in the Inner Circle. So I've been doing that, but I think one time, I don't even know, like Leo and Brian like just hit me up. Like, where are you going out tonight? I was like, oh, I guess I'm going to Polk. And even when we met up, like they didn't really do much with me. I was just like kind of doing my own thing. But then they kept showing me some interest. But then like kind of going out with them like made me think more about themselves as like they're very pompous. They were just like ignoring me. So that went on, and Brian kept hitting me up, asking like, I think I asked him like a couple stuff on like how to, like on game in general. Then we talked a little bit. And he was like, yeah, just contact me if you need help anytime. But even then I kind of like was skeptical about him because he had his own business and like doing the coaching thing.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like maybe he's trying to get me like to get coaching and get money out of me. So I was kind of doubtful. And right now, I mean, even now I'm still a little bit like that. But then, right as I moved in, I actually got a lot of advice into like where should I move into.
Yeah.
Like out of all the choices I picked, he's like, move here. So I'm like, alright. And yeah, and then I moved in, and then we went out together that night, and just kicked it together. It was pretty fun. Then we went back, and he was like, yo, let's go debrief. I'm like, okay. So we went back to my house, and we just talked about just life in general, like about game, what we thought about game, what we thought about like success. And yeah, just like hearing his stories, he was very like goal oriented. He just wouldn't let anything like get in his way of success. That's basically how he lived his life, and cut out anything that's unnecessary.
So what are his goals and what is
he definitely wants to start his own dating lifestyle coach like you do.
Yeah.
And so basically he was in college and then he was in like a track team. He got like pretty good scholarship I think, but then I forgot, but then he kind of quit school for some reason and then he started working like pretty normal 9-to-5 jobs, and then I think he was into pickup then, and he went to this Todd immersion program at the Mardi Gras thing. It was like it was for a week, and then he met this guy named Minotaur.
Yeah.
Who was like a pretty famous San Francisco pickup artist, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He met him there at the immersion, and then like Brian like asked for help. And then they kicked it together pretty well, and apparently Minotaur like offered him to work with him because he's like a famous, and he's a pretty successful business guy too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So Brian literally just left Kentucky and his house to go to San Francisco with no money.
Yeah.
And just like lived in his house for 4 months.
Yeah.
And then just learned game, learned business.
Mm-hmm.
So just like hearing all his stories, and like we also talked a lot about like being outcome independent, like my story, my side of the story, like how I was beating myself up too much, about the results I was gaining, and kind of my struggle side, and then we vibe very well. Basically, that was it, I think.
Yeah.
And we kind of talked about like the inner circle guys too, like how he was telling me like stop hanging out with them because most of them don't really take action.
Mm-hmm.
They'd rather be comfortable like sitting in the corner, rather than like trying to actually get their shit together and then talk to more people.
Yeah.
So with that and like you like constantly feeding me with the idea like hang out with the right group of people.
Yeah.
I started to like really hone in on that.
Yeah.
And started only hanging out with the guys who like thought was going towards the right path.
Yeah.
Like good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the current level.
Right. Yeah. I think that's super important.
Yeah.
And then I think Flores mentioned it on the group chat, and then I mentioned it.
Yeah.
And then Ryan. Like it's just like a success mindset in general.
Yeah.
Just because like when you hang out with the right people, actually I think I heard like on a neurological level, you start to match the frequencies of the brain waves. I don't know how that works. So,
yeah.
Sounds like a decent theory, and even if that isn't true, just the fact that you're hanging around the other people, you're going to learn something subconsciously from them. Their behaviors, like the subtle things. Maybe you take on some of their mannerisms and characteristics. But it's just super important to understand the culture and the mindset of
successful people.
The people you want to be like.
Yeah. And we talked about inner circle guys, and then like, and I asked them like, why do you hang out with me? And like, he just like said like, I just see potential in you. And I'm like, oh wow, that kind of touched me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it kind of came back to like, I really doubt myself a lot.
Yeah.
Then like, the moments when like people like you or like Brian like tells me that I have potential, like, I don't know, sometimes it just like moves me. Yeah. Like maybe I should have faith in myself.
Mm-hmm.
And these people having faith in myself, like, why shouldn't I have faith in myself, you know?
Yeah. Actually, that's a critical key to success as well.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you have faith in yourself that you're going to attain some sort of goal, that's when the results start to come as well.
Yeah.
It's like you tell yourself, like, I trust myself to make it. Like, it's more trust in your skills to make it happen, or trust in your persistence and dedication to something to make it happen.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what I talked about before. When I first got into pickup, first of all, I ran cross country when I was in high school, and when I started, I was pretty shitty. Like I was kind of fat in middle school, and then I was like a fat kid when I was in elementary school. Yeah, and then my mom signed me up for cross country, and I didn't I didn't even choose cross country. I wanted to do baseball and basketball, but I just showed up to practice every day.
Yeah.
And I did that for 4 years. And by the fourth year, by my last year, I was like the second or third runner on the varsity team. And I was like, on some of the courses, I set like a top 10 record and things like that. But it was just because I showed up every day.
Yeah.
And same sort of thing happened when I, for math, like in high school, I got like a C minus. No, it was like a C plus in algebra 2, I think. And I mean, by Asian standards, it's like pretty shitty.
Yeah.
So when I went to college, I just dedicated myself because I was like, I had to get my shit together, and I read Outliers as well, so I knew about the 10,000 hour rule, and I realized if I just study all the time, or if I study enough, then I can get to the point where I'm proficient. So for my math classes, instead of thinking it was about talent, I thought of it as a skill. I just studied incessantly for all my tests. I try to outwork everyone else, and that's when I ended up getting A's, and I actually like changed my major to math.
Yeah.
And so those were like 2 instances in my life where I'm like, I just dedicated like 4 years of my life and became pretty much like really proficient at something to the point where I actually enjoyed it. And so with pickup, when I first got into it, I was like, I know because I've seen skills that I've acquired in the past.
Yeah.
I know that if I do the same thing for 4 years or 5 years, I'm going to become like almost like an expert at it, like close to like a quote unquote like master level at it, whatever that means. But to the point basically where I can do challenging things in that field and also enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. And then that's what I did. I told myself, well, I don't really care if I don't get results for the first 4 years, as long as I stick to it for 5 years. I know I'm going to end up getting results sometime along the way.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
So I never really worried about the results too much. Because I'm like, well, I'm on the 5-year path anyway. So,
yeah.
And my mindset was like, I'm just going to dedicate 5 years to it and then see what happens from there.
Yeah.
So if you have that mentality, so like, what kind of, do you have a similar mentality or is your approach different?
When I heard that what you just said, sometimes I feel like if I set goals like too long term and don't have any short term goals, it kind of makes me loose.
Yeah.
And not try so hard sometimes, I think.
Yeah.
So I definitely have that long term goal too. I have it in my spreadsheet.
But is it a goal or is it like a belief?
It's a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing with me. It wasn't really a goal. It was just like I knew it was going to happen.
Oh,
I knew that I was going to get to the point because I saw enough Owen videos where he was talking about like how the first year you're really awkward and nothing really happens. The second year maybe you start to get a few lays and get more experience. The third year you start to become pretty solid.
Yeah.
And the fourth year that's when things start to get epic. And the fifth year it picks up even more and it just like goes out of proportion from there. It's like exponential growth.
Yeah.
So I knew I was like 5 years. Like I'm pretty diligent. I take action. I write everything down. I'm going to figure out a way to eventually get there.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really. I was never worried about the results really. I just had faith that it was going to happen.
You just keep doing it.
Yeah, because I've seen these past instances in my life. So that's why last time I asked about your skiing experience, I think there's another thing, like with biology. It's like you study biology for 5 years and you ski for like 4, 5 years. At that point, it's like you can do some challenging slopes and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And the same thing will happen in pickup. It's like you'll get the results and you'll have fun.
Right.
Give it enough time.
Yeah, I think I beat myself up more because I always tell myself, in my mind I've done it for 4 years almost.
Yeah.
But then those times, I rarely went out. Like my first year, like I didn't go out, and then I took boot camp.
Yeah.
And then even then, like I went out a couple of times, but just being in college, I was only able to go out like and do actual pickup, like when I'm not in school, like during those short breaks. So it was never really a full 3 year, like.
Yeah.
So I feel like I shouldn't really beat myself up for that.
Yeah. And then I guess if you view it kind of like how you progress through skiing or biology, and just tell yourself, well, if I stay consistent at it for a long enough period of time, it's going to come.
Yeah.
It's not even about the results at that point. It's more like I just feel comfortable with my skill level.
Yeah.
Or just comfortable going out.
Yeah.
Because thinking about skill level can be limiting as well. Because people are like, are you beginner, intermediate, or advanced? Well, now you're just like compartmentalizing yourself. Because a lot of times what can happen overnight almost is you start to do things that are like quote unquote advanced. Like you'll do like crazy shit. Like maybe one night you'll just feel really good and you go out and you look like you're on top of the world and you're doing like what people say would be advanced things. And other nights you just might look like a beginner, like you're just walking around.
Yeah.
I don't think it's I don't really classify it as like beginner, intermediate, or advanced. Because I think it's limiting, like I said before.
Yeah.
And then, but I do see people in terms of their experience, and I think experience is valuable because more experienced people know how to get themselves out of difficult situations. Like if they're in their head and they're nervous when they go out, they know it's okay.
Yeah.
They know that eventually they're just going to work themselves out of it. And that's the same exact mentality. It's like the 5-year thing. The same thing on a micro level happens per night. It's like if I feel shitty when I go out, I feel tired, then I'm like, well, by the end of the night, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
Same thing with the 5-year thing. By the end of 5 years, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's just that trust that everything is going to work out because you trust in yourself. You trust in yourself to make things happen.
Yeah.
And that's the success mentality I was talking about.
I think I really had that for like my academic stuff.
Yeah.
So I just like, just seeing the results I've had, like I kind of trusted in myself that I would get A's like no matter what.
Yeah.
And I would always get A's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a self-esteem thing.
Yeah.
And actually that's super underrated. Like I was listening to Dan Pena and I was reading this book, like Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And they all talk about like self-esteem, basically.
Yeah.
Like your emotional blueprint.
Yeah.
Like is your emotional blueprint set to make $1 million or to get A's or to get laid? Is it oriented towards that? Or is it like or is it in a place where you don't actually have faith in yourself? You just kind of tell yourself.
Yeah.
So that's the thing to think about. And it's really underrated is the self-esteem part of it.
Right. Yeah, it's just, that's kind of weird because I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
I always just thought like, just get A's. I don't know, I just got really good grades because even if I don't really try to get A's, like I would just have that habit of like doing everything that's necessary to get A's.
Yeah.
It was almost like automatic.
Yeah.
Like I would just find shit to do like that would get me A's, like, and it just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I guess it's the same sort of thing with the self-esteem. But then there is a bit of a difference. It's like when people look at naturals or something. Yeah. And then people look at other guys who are trying to learn through a process because they were deprived of that earlier on in their life. I guess there's like more things to work through. But there are certain parallels because you all end up in the same place over time if you work at it enough.
Right. What were we talking about? Oh yeah. So Brian and I vibe really well. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about your first night.
That way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that night after Brian left, I went to sleep and then like woke up by someone like barging into my room. And she's like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "Who are you?" She's like, "This is my room." And I'm like, it's not. It's my room. She's like, "Pretty sure it's my room." And we just like go back and forth for like a fucking minute. And I eventually guessed it was like some kind of mix-up because she lives in it's like a hotel. It is a hotel, but then they rent some of the rooms out for like monthly rents.
Okay.
So I thought the hotel lady like must have mixed up or something.
Yeah.
And then she was like, whatever, I just need to rest a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And she just comes up next to me and then like lies in my bed.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. Chill. And she like, I want to have sex. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It's just, let's do it. And then I started like I turned her around like to my side and like started making out. And I take all her clothes off. And then I'm like, wait, let me just wash my dick off because I feel like it was so nasty.
Uh-huh.
And then wash my dick, come back to the bed, make out, fucking start fingering her pussy, and she gets really into it. Like she just starts moaning like crazy. And I put my condom on and like I fuck, and yeah, it was kind of crazy sex. Like then I couldn't come down because either she was too loose or my dick was too used to my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I couldn't
It's an
come.
interesting situation though.
But
I think it's almost like the universe rewarded you for moving.
huh?
It's almost like the universe rewarded you for moving.
Yeah, it was so weird.
Yeah.
So we had sex, and I just like recorded the whole thing too. I don't know, like just hearing from other people's stories, other natural stories, like hanging out with them. Like this guy Fabian, I hang out with him a couple times too. He's from France. He's kind of like a natural guy too.
Yeah.
And he's like telling me all these stories about like him getting laid in Vegas and like how he like films everything. Like he shows me the videos of like him fucking other girls, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You just film these chicks like giving you blowjobs? I'm like, yeah, just do it. Like, don't even ask. Yeah. And that kind of like went into my head. And I'm like, alright, like, hold on, girl. And he's like, bring my phone and like start filming her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like jacking up into her face.
Yeah.
And she gets all into it too. And yeah, so it's pretty crazy sex experience. And we took a nap. Then I got horny again, so I like started feeling her again. She's into it, and then we fuck again. And yeah, and then I took her to work, so I'm like, alright, I'm gonna take you out. So we left together and then like got pizza. She paid for it.
Nice.
And I called her Uber. She left. I went to work. Yeah, and then like just went all day.
That's pretty sweet. And
Yeah.
did you feel like when it was happening? Did you feel like it was not a big deal, or did you feel?
I felt happy that day.
Yeah.
I mean, I was also pretty fucking tired because I got like 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, wow, okay, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's interesting. And then that starts to become like more normal, I guess.
Yeah, it was insane. Like I said to you before, like how used to you get
Yeah.
like of the success that you've always wanted so much.
Yeah, it's like you've been trying for the past year. And
Yeah, and then you get it, and like, oh, cool.
yeah. Yeah, and then Vegas. So then, what day was it here at the Stratosphere? Your first night?
So that was 2 days ago.
Okay, 2 days ago.
So that first slay happened last week of this day,
Okay.
and another lay happened 2 days ago.
So last week was Tuesday, and this week was Sunday.
Sunday, yeah. So that was pretty interesting too. Like, I chilled it out like my whole night in Hakusan. I was just like standing there, like watching this girl, and then I got too tired, so I left. I just talked to some girls in the club. I mean, in the lobby. Didn't work out very well. So I was like, alright, Stratosphere is like closer to my room, so let's just go there. I mean, I knew it was going to be less people, but I went there, I found this girl in Starbucks, talked a little bit, tried to like pull her to my room, but like she was not about it. So I'm like, okay, see ya. Then I go to the bar. There's this. I kind of felt the vibe that she might be like a hooker. But I go up to her anyway. I just like talk, drinking water. And then she like told me that she was an escort. So I'm like, okay. Then we just like keep talking about her life, my life. Like she's like a Japanese, black, Japanese African. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting mix. And we talked about kids, how she was like trying to finish her biology degree. So we talked about biology a lot, and about her like what she was trying to do. She was trying to be like a pharmacist. She was trying to go into like pharmacy. Like, oh, like what do you think about the industry? And like talked about fucking what's that guy who just got arrested for fraud, like the that kid who like jacked up the price of like pill like 200 gold.
I'm not sure.
Anyways, like he's like the evil dude like in the Wall Street, and apparently he got arrested for fraud.
Okay.
So like, what do you think about that dude? Like, we just talked about that a little bit. And I'm like, here, let's walk around a bit. I gotta get my keys to go back to my room anyways. So we walk around, and like Antonio, my roommate, had just pulled that day, and her girl was sleeping in the room. And while Antonio was in MGM, so I'm like, I talked to this girl, hey, we should like go wake her up and try to have sex.
Yeah.
And she laughs really hard, and they're like, yeah, we should do that, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
And then we get the card and like go up to the room, and then she's like dead asleep. So I'm like, oh, yeah, let's not do that. And we basically go into the room, and she's like leading me on too. It's like, let's watch some TV in the bed, and then, alright, that's good. And then she goes to the bathroom, and I go up. Yeah, and I start like, she goes to the bathroom, and I go up to the bathroom as well. And then like knock on the door and open the door, and then like tries to make out with her. Then she's like, no, I'm working right now, I can't do this. I'm like, dude, just like have fun, forget about the money tonight. Like, you're already here anyways. I'm not gonna pay for sex ever.
Yeah.
She's like, no, please, like, can you at least do like 20? And I'm like, nope, not gonna do it. I'm like, just please, 20. Like, it starts like feeling my dick and like makes out with me a little bit. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it. Like, I'm not gonna do it. She keeps fucking insisting, so I'm like, alright, forget about it. I just like slap her hand down, and like I go back to the room, start watching TV on nonchalant. And she like, after a few minutes, she comes back to me and like, are you mad? I'm like, nah, just don't want it. I just don't want to pay for sex. Kind of ruins the vibe, I think. She's like, alright, I mean, can you at least like call me Uber back, stuff like that? Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so she basically like blows me and then like we have sex. It's actually pretty passionate, I think. Then we get sex. Oh, and the weirdest thing was she was like talking my dick. That girl wakes up next to me. And I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
She just like, can I go take a shower? I'm like, yeah, feel free to take a shower. She goes to the shower and then we like fuck like really hard. And yeah, that was it. And then Antonia comes in and just like hang out a little bit. And she leaves. Like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and it kind of demystified all that. Like everybody always says, like, don't talk to stalkers.
Yeah.
You always try. You're not gonna get anything out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I mean,
I had fun.
they're
I got
people
something
too.
out of it.
Yeah.
And we had fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, they're people too. I think
Yeah.
people objectify or dehumanize them.
I think that was it. I really viewed her as like a friend.
Yeah.
Rather than like as a call girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's pretty awesome though. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. And one other thing I was going to mention too about like you hanging out with Brian and stuff like that. So that was a major point, is that a lot of times we have impressions of people, especially successful people, and we think that they're like pompous or like immoral in some sort of way.
Yeah.
Before we actually get to know them.
Yeah.
And then once you actually get to know someone, then you start to understand what they're really like. Same sort of thing, actually it works in the opposite direction too. People that you look up to, once you get to know them, then it starts to make them more human.
Yeah.
So it works in both directions. And so I'd say like if you either like idolize someone or you respect the results that they're getting, but you're not sure if they're doing it in how do I say this? It's like you might have a certain impression of them, but the results are saying one thing, and it looks like they're acting another way. Just like actually get to know them and see what they're actually like.
Yeah.
And give them a chance.
Yeah.
So the whole thing with the wealthy people thing, it's like instead of making a generalization or a judgment, get to know. Like if you're skeptical about wealthy people and their actual morals, then get to know some of them and actually explore whether that's a valid idea or not. Because sometimes it might be, but a lot of times this was a case that happened in my life where my stepdad was really against Mormonism, and I went to BYU, which is like the Mormon capital of the world. And then I remember after I graduated, I had a couple of friends from BYU that were living in LA. Like one of my friends is going to medical school, and I was going out to dinner with them, and I invited my parents to come so they could meet them. And he was really nervous, but then actually like once we just sat down and had a conversation, and after that dinner, he felt a lot more comfortable with me hanging out with Mormons, and just more comfortable with the Mormon culture. He was like, actually, they're really good people. Like,
yeah,
they're cultured, they're intelligent. Like, I mean, they're just regular people.
Yeah. They're not fucking crazy celibates.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, most of the time they're celibates, but
yeah, they're
and
not crazy.
Yeah. Every once in a while they're crazy as well, but they're just like normal people. It's like the same bell curve of the population.
Yeah.
So, I'd say that's a major takeaway too. It's like get to actually know people and understand and sort out your beliefs that way. And then I remember I had this discussion at the hostel too. They're making all these claims about how like rich people most of the time are immoral when they try to attain wealth, or like successful people. And I was saying like, well, I don't know if that's really a helpful mindset though. Like usually the successful people that I know personally, they've all created their wealth by ethical means, and they've just worked really, really hard for it. They like while we're talking, like we were discussing this at the hostel. While we were talking at the hostel, my friends are still working. Like that's why they're making all the money that they're making. But they're also passionate about the work too. So someone like Fergal is an example. Like he's worked for his money and he's done it through ethical ways, and he just works really hard. Like when we were in Thailand, he would wake up in the morning, go to the co-working space, and come back at night, and it would be like a full day, beyond 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
But he liked it though. Like it was
an
amazing lifestyle at the same time. So that's the main thing to think about.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions at this point?
Yeah, I still got really inspired by what Tyler said yesterday. I don't know if you're there for that in the evening, but he really talked about like the life you want starts when you actually believe in yourself, and when you actually like, I want to do this. It doesn't need to take like fucking like three to 4 years to become what you want. That's basically what he's saying.
Yeah.
Like the moment you like truly believe that you're a pimp, like you're gonna be a pimp. Like, and he was saying like, in some other artists, he's kind of like not doing you a good favor because the more you dig into this, like you're kind of self-perpetuating this fact that you need to learn more stuff to become a pimp. And whereas like these guys, like the Tyler mentioned, like there's this short Asian, I don't know, like short, like some guy like below the social beauty standards gets like laid more than him, gets more hotter girls than him. These guys actually like believe they're a fucking pimp. There's like no other thoughts going on inside of it, and that's what blows everyone else, like with the results they get.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's like a really interesting thought I had, because I've been like working really hard to get like to this level, right?
Yeah, I think that goes along with the self-esteem thing too.
Yeah.
It's like full trust, full belief.
Yeah.
And it takes time, but your mentality, that's why I think affirmations and visualizations are super important.
Yeah.
Because it edges you towards that, like inch by inch, and it redirects your mental pathway towards that direction.
Right.
Reorients you. And I find that, especially now, like if you start to visualize, I think you'd find it a bit easier. Because you've had
it's
evidence.
getting a little bit easier, yeah.
Yeah. And then it'll go like bilaterally, because it'll become easier to visualize, and then also it'll become easier to practice that in the real world.
Yeah.
Like to actually make the visualizations happen. So if you continue that too, it'll happen in both directions.
Yeah.
So also, have you been doing that recently?
I've been slacking off from the visualization.
Yeah, make sure you do that.
Yeah.
Pretty much like every time you write on the group chat your daily report, like do the visualization.
Okay.
Around that time.
It just kind of feels like it's a ton sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like
it takes so long.
Yeah.
For me to like run the whole thing, I feel like I'm like living in a different world. And like the time's being spent there is time being spent here.
Yeah. But at the same time though, it's like it actually accelerates your progress a lot.
Yeah.
Because when I was doing that, this is my first time in immersion. I kind of just did it just to do it because I used to do it for sports. Right. And I was like, well, it worked for sports, so I might as well try it for pickup.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of a ridiculous idea at first, but I'm like, well, it's not so ridiculous. Like, it's a skill that I can learn.
Yeah.
So I'll try it. And then that's when things started to come together, actually. I didn't realize it until afterwards. I'm like, maybe the visualizations is part of it too. And now I realize, yeah, it actually was part of it.
Yeah.
So it'll definitely accelerate the learning curve. Like, you'll move past the learning curve faster.
Right. And he also talked about, like, it goes with the be at the center, like, be at the cause, not the effect. And he was really saying, like the core of artistry is not really about women in the end, you know? Like, it's about you being in the center, and, like, your happiness is, like, the most important thing to you, and then the other things like wealth, health, girls, like whatever you want, like materialistic things in life, is pinning off of your happiness. It's like there to help you to become happy. They're not in the center of your attention, and that's how you should live your life. That really resonated with me. I don't know. He's like the words he's saying. It's like so much more articulate than when I'm describing it right now. It's like so powerful when he says it to me, but then I can't regurgitate what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does make sense, though.
Yeah.
It does get to a point where it's like, I don't need this to be the primary focus of my life anymore.
Yeah.
It's not such a big deal anymore.
Yeah.
And even like the couple of examples that you've had in the past week, it reduces the importance, I think, a bit.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good thing too, because it's like letting go of it.
Right.
Like the desperation you let go of.
Yeah.
But I think on the daily report, I'm going to add just like another question where it's just like visualization. You just say either yes or no for that day.
That would make you do it, yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
All right. I think we're done here too.
Okay.